Understanding Kant's deontological ethics, duty-based morality explained. Have you ever wondered whether the morality of an action depends on its outcome, or simply on whether it's the right thing to do? Today, we're diving into one of the most influential approaches in moral philosophy, deontological ethics, as proposed by Immanuel Kant. This is the theory that suggests morality is grounded in duty, not consequences. Deontology comes from the Greek word, deon, meaning duty. Unlike consequentialist theories, like utilitarianism, which judge actions by their results, deontological ethics evaluates actions based on whether they adhere to moral rules or duties. Immanuel Kant, an 18th-century German philosopher, argued that morality is universal and absolute. In other words, some actions are inherently right or wrong, regardless of what happens afterward. For example, lying is wrong, even if it could save someone's feelings or even prevent harm, because it violates a universal moral duty. Kant's moral theory is built around the categorical imperative. This is a principle that tells us what we ought to do, independent of personal desires or consequences. There are three famous formulations. 1. The universal law formulation. Act only according to that maxim whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. Example: if you consider lying to get out of trouble, imagine if everyone did that. Society would collapse because trust would vanish. Therefore, lying is morally impermissible. 2. The humanity formulation. Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of another, always as an end and never merely as a means. Example: using someone purely to achieve your own goals, like cheating or manipulation, is wrong, because it fails to respect the inherent worth of the other person. 3. The kingdom of ends formulation. Act according to maxims of a universally legislating member of a kingdom of ends. Example: imagine a community where everyone treats each other as ends, not means. This creates a moral society where duties are respected, and each person's autonomy is honored. Kant distinguishes between actions done from duty and actions done from inclination. Actions from duty are morally valuable. You do them because they are the right thing, not because of personal gain, fear, or pleasure. Actions from inclination may align with duty but lack moral worth if the motivation is personal benefit. For instance, giving to charity purely for tax benefits or social recognition is not morally praiseworthy in Kantian terms. True moral worth comes from acting out of respect for moral law. Let's apply Kant's ideas to everyday life. 1. Telling the truth. Even if lying would save you from embarrassment, the duty to tell the truth is paramount. 2. Returning a lost wallet. Regardless of whether the owner will find it or not, the duty is to return it. 3. Whistleblowing. Exposing wrongdoing at your workplace might create personal risk, but if it aligns with moral duty, it's ethically correct. Kant's ethics emphasizes principled consistency. You don't choose what is right based on personal consequences, you act according to universal moral principles. While Kant's deontology is influential, it's not without criticism. 1. Rigidity. Critics argue it can be too rigid. For example, telling the truth might endanger someone's life. Does duty override safety? Kant would say yes, but many see this as impractical. 2. Conflict of duties. What if duties conflict? Kant's theory doesn't provide clear guidance in these cases. 3. Neglect of consequences. Some argue morality should consider the outcomes, especially when harm can be prevented. Despite these critiques, deontological ethics remains powerful because it upholds the inherent dignity and autonomy of individuals. Kant's ideas are highly relevant today. In business ethics, AI programming, law, and human rights discussions, we often ask, are we respecting individuals as ends, not merely as tools? Deontological ethics reminds us that some principles, truth, honesty, respect for autonomy, should guide our actions, even when shortcuts or expedient choices seem tempting. To sum up, Kantian ethics teaches us that morality is about duty, principles, and respect for humanity. Actions matter not only for what they achieve, but for whether they honor universal moral laws. So next time you face a moral dilemma, ask yourself, am I acting from duty, or just from convenience? That's the essence of Kant's deontological ethics. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more philosophy deep dives.